What it is. Hercules Crypto getting back at you on the one with the most trusted and the one with the numbers and codes. All right, so what the Trump deal, what's going on with the tariffs, tax of goods and services overseas, his playbook. A lot of people don't know how it was going. It was going like this in 2018, so it's nothing new under the sun. We call it the tariffs 2.0. So most people don't understand the game Trump is playing, but simply, in 2018, Trump's tariff chaos forced to liquidity pivot, and it's literally about to happen again. December of 2018, Trump declared himself tariff man. The market hated it. Sound familiar? The S&P 500 fell 15% over the course of December. It it all looked terrible as markets capulated, and always everyone was zoomed in. And yes, significant amount of people were calling for a bear market and a recession. Sound familiar? Uh, yeah, this was by Dan. He's a very good crypto analysis. I follow his channel and stuff. Um, but yeah, this does sound familiar because he declared himself as a tariff man back in 2018. Now there is something looming ahead, but what could it be? Well, it could be stagflation. I'll go over that in a minute. But the talks about the American Bitcoin bill. The American Bitcoin will control over 61,000 mining machines, with Eric Trump and his chief strategy offers the plan to build a Bitcoin reserve. The HUD-8, I mentioned earlier in the prior video, HUD-8 will own 80% of American Bitcoin, supplying the mining hardware and hosting operations, and at its 11 U.S. data centers to ensure low-cost, large-scale, and Bitcoin production. The venture deepens into Trump's crypto footprint alongside projects like World Liberty Financial, meme coins, and planned stablecoin. So this is very good, exciting news on that I mentioned earlier with Eric Trump. Now, now we got to talk about inflation. So core inflation in February hits 2.8%, higher than expected. Spending increases 0.4%. So the core personal consumption expenditures price index showed at 0.4% increase for the month, the biggest monthly gain since January 2024, putting the 12-month inflation rate at 2.8%. Economists surveyed by Dow Jones had been looking for respective numbers of the 0.3% and the 2.7%. Now, a lot of people may not understand what the stagflation is, and I'll go into details, more clarity on that. But here's what Bank American's fund managers surveyed found, that 71% managers said that expected stagflation to hit the global economy sometime over the next 12 months. The survey also found that money managers reduced their holdings of U.S. stocks in record amounts the week of March the 7th and March the 13th. Sound familiar? This is one I was mentioning in my prior videos. Watch out for the dates, March the 10th through March the 14th. And it literally was spot on March the 10th when the dump happened to traditional markets as well as Bitcoin, which I was able to get it on the cheap. And I was out of altcoins by then. But this stagflation is a big deal. So you think inflation is bad? Think again, because stagflation is way times worse for the economy and risk on assets or in investing anything. So stagflation is a rare economic phenomenon where economy experiences, what is it? So one, stagnation, slow or no economy growth, often accompanied by high unemployment. Number two, inflation, rising prices of goods and services, which reduces purchasing power. Number three, inflation, a decrease in the purchasing power of money, leading to decline in the standard of living. So stagflation is a complex, challenging economic situation as it combines the worst aspects of both inflation and stagnation. It can be difficult to address through monetary and physical policies to measure to combat inflation and exacerbate stagnation, and the vice versa. So yeah, this is a big deal. It could be a big problem in the future. So to go into that, what I said about Trump's playbook, a lot of people see this. Yes, I mean it's bearish in the short term, but he just wants to do what's right because he thinks we've been cheated on tariffs for a very, very long time, which is true. And there are pain ahead. There's going to be pain ahead. There's going to be short term pain ahead as well. But if you look at the bigger picture, for America, this is very good for Americans in the long term. Now, no one truly knows, like with a crystal ball, where the markets are going, the traditional markets as well as Bitcoin. But I did mention in prior videos that I was looking at the lowest we can even go to, period, is 69K. Now, when we had that drop, I did buy at the bottom of on that drop when it was scary for everybody and the traditional markets dropped down, and I was able to pick up Bitcoin at it was at 76,900, and the lowest it dropped 76,555 on the Coinbase exchange. Now we do have important data this week as well, at the beginning of next week, but this week they had the manufacturing data of March PMI, construction spending and all that. But ADP, non-farms employment, they're going to be on Wednesday, tomorrow. I mean, tomorrow's Tuesday, so Wednesday, April 2nd. So day after April Fool's Day. But April Fool's Day, April the 1st, that's going to be the manufacturing data, the PMI. Construction spending is ISM manufacturing, the job openings, and stuff with the auto sales on March. But on the 3rd of Thursday, April the 3rd, that's initial job claims. That's very important data. The final services of PMI for March and the ISM services for March. This is going to be very important because this is going to be a big market mover in direction where we're going. So this can be very volatile for crypto for sure. Friday was even more important data coming out, April the 4th, and the U.S. employment report of March, 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time, U.S. unemployment March rate, U.S. hourly wages, and this is all around 8:30, and hourly wages year over year. And then we got the big Fed Chairman Jerome Powell speaks at 11:25 a.m. Eastern Time. So this is a very big market mover. It's always volatile when Jerome Powell speaks. Usually if we pump into the speech, you expect it to drop down on the volatility, so we drop in price, or vice versa. So this does tend to happen a lot, and it's never boring when Jerome Powell speaks. The whole traditional markets, as well as Bitcoin and crypto space, reacts to it like in a big way. So we're looking forward to that speech, but we're looking forward to going to the direction of QE, which most likely won't happen until late May or into June. For sure, June. Everything's predicting June to have the first rate cut. But we'll see that when that day comes. That's either here or there. But like all these data points, that I'm talking about and speaking of are very bullish, especially with the American BTC, the new standard of Bitcoin mining. So like this is all going to be good for the Trump family. Advances its all-out crypto blitz in the time with Bitcoin mining. So yeah, with HUD 8, and I mentioned that the rank 6 are the ones that hold all the crypto, the Bitcoin, in that space. So this is very bullish going in long term.